Okay, for today's assignment, we're going to work with out-of-bounds images, and we're going to take a regular image, put a frame to it, add a layer mask, and make it like it's popping out of the frame here for kind of a 3D look, and then add a gradient to the background. So what you're going to do is you're going to download this image here of the kids in the raft, and you're going to put it in Pixlr. I'm going to increase the size a bit and hold down the space bar and kind of center it up, something like that. As you can tell, I've given it a name, raft, rather than background, and it's always a good idea to make a duplicate copy. I'm going to put it at the bottom, by the way, the copy, and unclick it so it's not there, but in case I mess up this one, I've got the backup. What I'm going to do next is create a new layer, and I'm going to call this frame. And I'm clicked in there. So while the frame is the active layer, I'm going to go over here to our, what do they call it here? I'm saying drawing tool. I would call it shapes, but drawing tool. And usually the border sizes I think is 1, but I'm going to take it to about 50 here. And I'm going to draw a frame. And split it down the middle right there, something like that. And actually, I'm going to undo that. I think that's a little big. Let me try it a little lower here. Okay, perfect. Let me see the water. We got a frame. Then what I do with this frame is I'm going to go to Edit, Free Transform, and I'm going to. That's not what I want to do. Let's try that again. I'm going to go to Edit, Distort, Free Distort. I'm going to pull this end up. I'm going to pull that end down. And I might even bring these down just a little bit, keeping them straight. Okay, so kind of, and then hit Enter to accept what I've just done. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the eraser tool. And I'm going to erase the frame. I might make that just a little bigger here. Actually, I think for this one I want a little harder brush. There we go. And when I get down here, I want to be a lot more exact, so I'm going to kind of zoom in and hold down the space bar so I can pan. And I just want it to end at the where the boat meets the water, something like that. And up top, be a little trick here. That might match up with the head okay here. A little too much. So I'm going to go in little chunks here. Something like that. So if I zoom back out, okay. Okay, now what we'll do next here is you're going to go back to our raft and we're going to add a layer mask. And we're going to click that and it's going to disappear. And this is where we are going to grab our paintbrush. And I'm going to paint in a, okay, and again, wherever I paint, what's in there is going to show up. So I'm going to paint everything inside the frame. Being web-based, it goes a little slow. So you'll paint it all in. Okay, I'm going to move this down. And obviously it doesn't do anything to the frame because that's a different layer and that's not active. Okay. There we go. And we keep going, and now I want to include the raft that's on the outside. A little more to go. Okay, so it looks like I've got everything in there. Now it's really just time to erase this water right here. So I'm still on the layer mask, and you can see it's active. There with the picture active, but the layer mask we want active in the raft layer. I'm going to go back and choose the eraser, and if I can just start erasing those lines. And this is where, again, we have to zoom in so we can be a little more precise. It's interesting. If I zoom in too much, it ignores the mask. So maybe 140 is our at 160. Okay. So this is where we would be rather exact. Alright. I could just, I think my brush at 70 is much too big. There, that might be a little better. And depending on your internet connection. Okay, we just kind of keep going. And there's nothing wrong with learning a little patience. Now, I obviously went a little too far, so I'm going to undo that part and come back. Okay, and you get the picture. We just keep kind of moving along. And actually, I might even try a softer brush on this for the hair. You can see something's coming through up here, so I'll get that. And then finally, I would go to get in there. It's 9. Now, I know some of you are thinking, hey, I don't want to be that precise. Yeah, you can do it. It's not that hard. Okay. So something in the effect of that. Okay, and as you keep going, and I would have to go in and clean up that a little bit, and I can see some sticking out here. But I think you get the picture. Now, as we're doing this, and I can see that's not, so I would have to go back to my, I just did that, he'll come back out. So, oop. There we go. Okay, so you continue along with that, and I'll go back out. You keep doing that until you've taken away everything you don't want to. And the next part is to add a new layer, and you're going to call it gradient. Okay. Now your gradient tool is right there, and you can see it looks from like a white and goes to a dark blue. But if you click on that, it'll show you what your gradient's going to look like. And if I just make a line right here with my gradient, hold down the mouse key and pull, you can see it goes from white to black with gray in the middle, just like it shows up here. Now, if we put our gradient at the bottom, we can see we get that, and that's why we still need to go back there and clean up this layer mask. However, I can also change it, and we got preset ones here. We're going to go white to red, hopefully, someday. Let's try that again. Here we go, I can go white to red. If I go the opposite way, I can go red to white. Okay, and these are linear. I can also do a radial where, okay, I can make a bigger one, small one. You can also go in, you can customize it. So you can click on this first color here. Oh, there, I'm sorry. Select the color, say yellow. It's not working for me. Try that here. There we go. Okay, you see yellow, and maybe we can go to, instead of red, I'll pick a orange. There we go. Click OK. And now when I do it, time here, it'd be yellow to orange, or I can flip it the other way as well, whatever you want. Okay, and then you would just clean that up. There you go.